Future Radio. Just subscribe, rate the show. 5-star review, appreciate it. Also on our YouTube channel at Josh Pacheco and on our Instagram at Sportscast. As we wait for Joe to call in, Knocker.
By the way, Josh, I like your shirt, man.
Do you really like it, or are you making fun of it?
No, I like it.
Britney Spears shirt?
Yeah, I like it a lot, man.
I appreciate it. I thought I would get made fun of for this shirt, but
not at all, man.
I think Britney's fucking cool, man.
I dig it.
I've never looked at your chest so much in my life.
Just wish I had some double D's, man.
All right, well,
me too.
All right.
But I play her slot machine.
Excuse me?
It's quite enjoyable.
You play her slot machine?
Yeah.
Where do you play her slot machine at?
At
sir?
Parker in Palm Springs.
I'm just a sweet transvestite.
Hey, man.
Maybe.
Hey, growing up girl in a Catholic girl skirt.
Does she really have her own game? Does she really have her own game?
Oh, absolutely. You didn't know that?
No, Britney
Spears
game?
So does Elvira.
My goodness.
Yes.
That's craziness, man.
Money.
I guess. Is that when you know you've made it? Is when you have your own...
For sure. Oh,
your own
absolutely.
slot
The
machine?
Flintstones have them. Titanic. There's all kinds of them out there. Elvis.
All the movie companies are making it big on it.
Star Wars.
They're pretty
ZZ
much
Top.
But see, a lot of those games, Knock,
Oh, you never win.
But I don't even know what the fuck's going on half
45
the time.
different ways.
You don't have to.
Yeah, 74 different lines. And
you don't have to know anything. It does it all for you. That's the great thing of it. You can get so
drunk.
fucking
Women
hammered.
love that shit. Women
you just
love
push the
that
button.
shit.
As long as you can push the button, you're fine.
It's crazy. Women love that
Talk
shit.
to your mom.
Knocker.
But they don't like math, so they don't know what the fuck's going on.
So, as long as they can keep pushing the button, that's all that matters,
All right.
right?
And something dings.
Yeah,
Ding, ding, ding,
something
ding,
ding. So, all right, Knocker, let's get into some NFL.
Pavlov? Maybe?
Oh, my God, let's move on, please. NFL Knock continues to make headlines. Thank you, sir. Got some news. The Panthers have a new owner.
Yes, they do. They sell for $2.2 billion.
Yeah, Greg Hardy
$2.2 billion.
is now going to fight in the MMA. We've
I
got
saw that also.
now we can legally bet, Knocker,
Not yet.
on
but
NFL games.
Yes.
Not yet,
Well,
Yes.
not yet.
Wait, but that $2 billion may be worth $4 billion as soon as that goes.
Yes, sir.
That might have been a really good buy.
Yes, whoever bought that team, yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, because they said it's gonna
Mark
basically
Cuban says-
double. It's
He
gonna
says
double the
double the
value
value.
of your business.
Yep.
That's what they're saying.
That's what he says. We'll see, but that's what
Holy
he says.
shit, though. That's incredible. If they double the value of your business, that's just...
Why do you think it's getting passed?
Yeah,
Right
that's
in
just
one boat.
crazy, man.
Boom.
That's just craziness. What we do, I think we've got Joe on the line. Hang on 1 second. Joe, let me bring you in here. There we go. Joe, you with us, sir?
Oh, yeah. How you guys doing tonight, man?
What's going on,
Perfect,
Joe?
brah.
Long time
How are
no
you?
talk. Glad to have you back on the show. We've got Joe Arrigo with us. He's publisher for Inside the Rebels. He's also, again, like we were talking about before, locked in with Las Vegas sports. Used to live over here, moved over to Vegas. He's locked in. He's a contributor to ESPN Las Vegas and is insider with Fox 5 Vegas. So what's going on, Joe Arrigo, man? Vegas is already up 1-0 in the hockey game.
Man, Marshall showed the backhand on a breakaway 35 seconds into it. I tell you what, man, I
missed it.
I was talking to your cousin Joe about this. I've been up in Fresno visiting my girlfriend Jaleesa up there I go up there like every other weekend. I stay at Joe's house, and
Okay.
we were watching the Kings night series, and we were talking about how this Knights team is built, this Golden Knights team is built, and it's just one of those teams that there's no weakness. They're just a perfect blend of a team, and he asked me, like, what's the city like? And this city has embraced this team.
Love it.
Quicker and faster than anything I've ever seen. And, you guys know, long-time suffering Kings fans, before 35 years before they won a cup, 2 and 3 years. I mean, Staples Center was, that's when I actually was down there, and I had the radio show in L.A. down there. Like, that's when like the city was just ablaze for hockey and for the NHL.
Right.
And the environment at Staples Center was just so lit. Well, this atmosphere at T-Mobile blows that out of the water.
Wow.
I mean, the crowd is into every possession from the first period to the third period. Like the way the production is put on pregame, I mean, it's a phenomenal experience, and the way this team is built, McPhee was a perfect blend of everything, man.
Yes.
McPhee, and you look at McPhee, look at what he did with the Capitals, and that team's also, they're in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah,
So,
that coach looks like he should be on the Addams Family. That's all I'm saying, though. You know what I'm saying?
Gallant?
Uncle Fester.
Yeah, it looks like Uncle Fester's uncle.
Hey,
He's
Joe.
like second cousin.
Joe, let me ask you, if I'm not mistaken, that
Yeah, but the way it was built, man, from McPhee to the way, then he hired Gallant as the head coach, and then the way they manipulated the expansion draft, you couldn't be if you were to support a team, and I don't think anybody expected them to be this good this fast. But at the same time, as the season went on and you've seen how they played, and they had goaltending issues early on. I mean, it was like 2 weeks into the season, and Fleury was out for like a month or so with a concussion.
Games.
He missed like 28, 30 games, something like that. And to be able to persevere through that, and then with the 1 October shooting that was up here, and the way that the city embraced the team, who really took ownership of it, and the Vegas Strong became their motto for the season. I'll tell you what, man, it's really special. And I had tweeted out probably like 2.5 before the trade deadline. So what would it be? How special would it be if the Knights won the Stanley Cup in their first year? And people thought I was crazy. And I said, this would probably be the biggest hockey story outside of the Miracle on Ice in the history of hockey, just the way just everything took into place. So, man, it's Vegas is right now. It's hockey fever, and everybody's pretty stoked about it.
Yeah, it's lit, not right.
So,
Like you
4
said.
years ago, everybody's saying hockey in Vegas.
Hockey,
Yeah.
right? Hockey
It'll
in
never
Vegas.
happen.
Yeah, same
It
thing.
won't
Hockey in
work.
Florida,
Go ahead,
blah, blah,
Knock.
blah.
You had some.
I had a question for you, Joe. If I'm not mistaken, that makes Marchessault a natural hat trick over 2 games, right? Didn't he score?
I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
I said that makes Marchessault a natural hat trick over the last 2 games, right? Didn't he score goals 2 and 3 in Winnipeg, and now he has the first goal in this game?
Yeah, he actually, you're right. He actually has 5 goals in a goal in the last 5 playoff games. To be honest with you, he came out after game 1 and said this isn't the same Golden Knights team that our fans are accustomed to seeing, and the way we played. So expect a different team to come out, and he's put his money where his mouth is.
Yeah.
So,
now let me tell you this, Joe. My sister-in-law, she stayed at New York, last week for her husband's 70th birthday. Your Uncle Pete.
Okay.
Joe.
I saw that
Josh.
your Instagram there or Facebook.
But she said that she was out there, on the the
strip.
little outside strip right there, and the Golden Knights cheerleaders, the Golden Knights band, and everything did the walkthrough very similar to a USC game or other college games. And she was like, wow, this city's really tuned in to this hockey
They're
team.
selling
they had
out
a whole
practices.
band.
Their
They had a
practices sell
But they
out.
had a whole band and a whole march, and they were playing on the road.
Yeah.
That's what made this great. They were
Crazy.
on the road,
Yeah.
and they still had a frenzy in the stadium.
You go to every casino, and every casino's got a Knights store.
Game 2 of
Right.
2 days ago, there's a casino just off the strip. It's in Summerlin. It's just just northwest of
I know
the
where
strip.
that is.
It's a everybody who's got it's a really cool place to be at. If you've moved to Vegas, that's one that's like 3 or 4 places you really want to live at. Well, that's where the Knights practice facility is, as well as they're building the new the new stadium for the minor league baseball team here. Well, there's the Red Rock Hotel and Casinos over there, and it's a really cool casino. A lot of locals go there, and it's a cool spot to be at. Cool vibe.
Yeah.
No, it's the best. It's my favorite casino out here, probably on or off the strip.
I'll have to check
But
it
It's
out.
for the locals.
They had a pool party.
Oh,
And there was like
For a
2,000
road
people there
game.
at the pool watching the
road
game.
game.
Dude,
How
that's
bitch is that?
awesome.
Let's just take the RV and do that.
Right?
Yeah, that sounds like fucking awesome. Well, man, we like we said, we're sticking with Vegas here. You've got not only the Knights who have been, like you said, they've been received with open arms. It's taken over the city. But how is your home team back in the day? As you know, as everyone doesn't know, you're a longtime Raiders fan.
Raiders. Come on, that's not me.
You come on. I'm just saying. I know but you cover them like you bleed. I know you're a Packers fan, but you cover the Raiders like you love them, man. You really are into the Raiders, and now you see this move coming over to Vegas. Do you think the city of Vegas is going to welcome the Raiders like they've welcomed the Golden Knights? Because for me, I don't see it translating like it has translated as well in hockey. I think it's going to take a little longer.
You know, I'm gonna preface what I say by this. If God came down and told me I couldn't root for Green Bay, it was either like my kids and my life.
His Raiders.
I would root for the Raiders.
I told you.
I would root for the Raiders.
I know he would.
Okay?
I know.
My best friend is a Raider and a Packer fan.
The team like I have, and I actually, when I broke the story 2.5 years ago, that they were thinking about coming here.
I will give you props for that. You were all over that story.
Everybody thought I was crazy, but I tell you what, they already poured the first slab of concrete 2 days ago at the stadium.
Love it.
They're working 24 hours a day, and they're working 7 days a week. Like, this stadium is getting put up lightning quick. It'll be ready it'll be ready, I would say, this time of the year, end of May, beginning of June in 2020.
Damn.
And that's going to be ahead of schedule because they said August, because there's provisions where they can make money if it's done ahead of time. And talking to the people building the stadium, they think it's gonna be done. But the city itself, if you walk around, you see more Raiders gear than Golden Knights gear.
Right.
And
really?
and that's hard to believe with the success of the Knights.
Really?
But this city is fully embraced the Raiders.
Wow.
You've got but it's not just the locals. You got people coming in there.
The Raiders have a place at it's called Town Square. It's a mall. That's where they actually have their viewing center. So when you want to go get your season tickets to see where your seats are going to be and put down the deposit for the PSL, and if you're on the list and you get that email from the team, they'll show you exactly where your seat is going to be, and they'll give you basically a 3D view from your seat, from how you'll see the stadium at the seat. This city has embraced the Raiders already. It's going to work out better than what anybody even thinks. Yeah. The Raiders are doing something in the community at least 2 or 3 times a week down here. If you don't have Cliff Branch or Mr. Brown or you name it, they also have Bruce Irvin down here. In fact, the day after the first round of the draft, Martavius Bryant was in town at a Raider event at Bishop Gorman High School, a workout like a football showcase. So this is less than 24 hours after he's traded. The Raiders have Martavius Bryant on the ground in Las Vegas.
So what was your point, Steve?
I was just
saying, Joe. What were you going to say, Steve?
I was just saying that it's not. You're seeing a lot of people with Raider stuff in Vegas. It's not just the locals. It's all the transit, the people traveling in. So you're going to have 50% of that place full just from people traveling in to watch the game.
If there's a football team in a city that encompasses the entire United States as far as people flying in to support a team, it's going to be Las Vegas. There's no doubt about it.
Raider fan, you're going to have them everywhere. Raiders fans.
If they ever build that fucking train,
now Joe,
look out.
Now, Joe, do you think, as we know, they've got Jon Gruden now? For me, personally, I think that was the reason why Jon Gruden. Not the reason, but one of the overwhelming reasons why he ended up coming back and coaching the Raiders is because of the new stadium and the new vibe. I think if they stayed in Oakland, I don't think he really takes that job.
Well, I think I disagree with that to an extent. If they stayed in Oakland and had a new stadium up there and the same type of amenities they're going to have here in Vegas, he takes the job.
He sees
the opportunity. He sees the opportunity now to win to come to a brand new stadium. A brand new stadium with a brand new football facility in a market and in an area that he can basically control. And that's the one thing that John has. He's got full control. I mean, he works with Reggie, but he wanted this job. This is the one job that I was told from people that were in the negotiations and were privy to talking with John directly, that this is the one job that he would come back in the NFL for. Yeah. He felt that he didn't really want to leave the Raiders to begin with. That was a decision that Al Davis made. Right. So John always felt like the Raiders are his team, and this is where he wanted to be. So he felt he left. He felt he had a Super Bowl team the year they had the Tuck rule, and then the following year that same team goes and he beats the brakes off of them in San Diego with Tampa Bay. So at the end of the day, John knows that he's got a franchise level quarterback. As long as he can stay healthy in Derek Carr, he's got an ascending young wide receiver in Amari Cooper. He's got one of the 2 or 3 best defensive players in the NFL in Khalil Mack. And he's going to have a ton of cap space after the next season. And then that's the 2019-2020 season. The Raiders are going to have a hell of a lot of cap space. They drafted fairly well. I thought they drafted really well this year. They addressed a lot of needs. And what he did was he took the culture of the locker room that Del Rio and Mike Tice really kind of divided that locker room and gave guys like Marshawn Lynch and Michael Crabtree a little too much freedom as veterans, and they took advantage of it last year. Marshawn didn't come in the best shape, and he was kind of had free reign to do what he wanted to do.
Now, Joe, don't you think he's a little overhyped? The whole Gruden's this, Gruden's grinders, Gruden's quarterback camp. He hasn't coached in the league in over a decade. I think the hype is a little bit too much, man. I think he took a Tony Dungy team, and won the Super Bowl with that. I think that he's just a little overhyped for me. Do you disagree with me? Where do you stand on the fence with this Gruden thing? The whole Gruden aura that he has.
I'm kind of on the fence with that, bro, because I think Tony Dungy's overhyped.
I do too. I do too.
Okay.
He had the same team and couldn't even get to the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. And he couldn't get by Green Bay in the playoffs.
I agree with him on that. I agree with you on that. I do.
And Dungy all of a sudden is this holier-than-thou guy because he had Peyton Manning win him a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
where, what did he really do to that team?
Wow,
but with Gruden, yes, the 10 years being away from football to me is a question. But what he's had now is 10 years of access to every football team in the National Football League.
But does he get the modern athlete? Does he get the modern athlete now?
Sure
He's an old school coach.
No, you're wrong. No. And I'll tell you why. Because he's run the football camps, and he's stayed in touch with all the new quarterbacks coming into the league for the last 8 years.
Go ahead, Joe.
He's been in touch with all those.
Well, I'll say this. When it comes to Gruden and getting the modern athlete, I think he does. But people took his "I want to take this back to 1998" comment and just ran with it. What he was saying was he wanted the toughness. He wanted to have the toughness of those older football teams. He's not going to play like 1998, but he's going to make this team a tough team. They're going to punch you in your mouth, and they want to run the ball on you. And if you look at the teams and look at a lot of the teams in the NFL, the running back is becoming more in vogue again. It went from a while. The running back was going way. It was almost irrelevant. But now you got Gurley and Elliott, and you got Barkley. And you have these running backs that are there, and they're difference makers again. And he knows that, and he sees that. Now, do I think they're going to Super Bowl winning type team this year? No, I don't. But I think they can compete for that division.
Yeah.
It's between them and San Diego. I don't like what Denver did. I mean, drafting Chubb was great.
Hey, that was a great draft. Yeah, getting Chubb. That's a steal because the Browns fucked up not getting him.
Well, I have a point.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. I wouldn't have taken Ward over Chubb. I don't. And really, if it was me with the Browns, and I've been on record on Twitter, I would have taken Barkley 1. And Mayfield may or may not have been there at 4, but you still could get Darnold at 4. That to me is a better draft because your defense, the Browns defense wasn't that bad last year except on the back end. So and they upgraded that, in the offseason. So to me, I think they really did, like you said, they fucked up right there. But
I agree.
To your point, Josh, my question to you, Joe, and I think Josh, to try and get through all this, what we've been talking about for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
If there's no Vegas deal for the Oakland Raiders, if the Oakland Raiders are stuck in the Coliseum for the next 5 years, does Gruden take this job?
No.
No.
I don't think
the
so.
question.
Because,
right?
Yeah,
that was your question, right,
yeah.
Josh?
Yeah.
But I answered that. I said if there was a new stadium deal in Oakland, he would have taken the job.
But there's no stadium deal.
He prefaced that. He prefaced his answer by
Because
saying
there's no deal going on in
But you know
Oakland.
the glitz and glam sold Jon Gruden. The whole thing.
Hell yeah,
the whole
it
thing
did.
is too perfect. Like, you know what I'm saying?
When you go to the Coliseum, when you go to the Coliseum and you get a contact high when you walk in, and then you got to go take a leak.
Is there a problem with that?
When you go take a leak,
what's the downside of that?
When you go take a leak and you got feces coming out of the stall, and you got to kind of walk around turds.
It's a bad place. I've been
there. That's a problem. When it rains and the clubhouse for the A's gets flooded, so they have to kick them out and put them in a Raiders locker room during baseball season. That's a problem.
Yeah.
I know people that played there. My little brother played with the Chiefs, Tyron Brackeridge, for 4.5 years and played with Jacksonville for another 5. Or something like that, 2.5 and then 4.5. And he played in Oakland multiple times, and he was like, "Dude, that is the worst stadium I've ever been in. Yeah. I've been in college stadiums that are better than that stadium."
Oh yeah, I agree.
Dome in Idaho is better.
Yeah, it's a piece of shit, man.
It's
horrible.
He put Idaho on the map.
Knocker, you got to admit, though, it's a good thing that Vegas legalized weed because it's going to calm down those fucking crazy-ass Raider fans. They're all going to be stoned as fuck now.
I love that Joe threw the vandal.
Yeah, they're all going to be stoned as hell.
Joe threw the
smoke weed every day.
That's the only time you're going to hear an Idaho Vandals reference on this show. Go Vandals!
Don't be surprised if you see those quote unquote crazy fans priced out of some of these, priced out of the seats.
What do you think? What do you think the starting? Do you really think this is more of going to be a corporate stadium, or is an average fan going to be able to get a ticket to this thing?
No, I think talking to Mark Davis directly, the average guy, the average Joe, the guys like us, will be able to get tickets.
Okay.
Not a problem.
If I want to go see my Cowboys, if I want to go see my Cowboys and Raiders, am I going to pay double premium just because it's Vegas, it's a new stadium?
No, they'll be cheap because the Cowboys are there.
Oh, shut the fuck.
Yeah, I'll say you can probably get it for free.
Shut up.
Just go down to Skid Row in North Vegas. They'll give them to you.
What the best bet for that would be? You're going to see casinos put together packages.
Okay.
Let's say it's something like let's say it's Caesars, right?
Yep.
Caesars puts together a package. You come in on a Thursday, leave on a Monday, and you spend $2,000, and you get your tickets to the game, you get tickets to shows,
I'll do that.
You get
some VIP action.
You'll see stuff like that.
Yeah.
You'll see stuff like that. But you can get, if you want to drive up 15 on a Saturday morning, go to a UNLV game at the stadium, and then the next day, see the Raiders play the Cowboys. Honestly, at the same time, you'll be able to do that. It's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. And I tell you what, I was at the groundbreaking, and the picture on I think it's the Facebook page, and it may actually be on my Twitter page too. The backdrop is actually a view from one end of the end zone of the whole strip, and that's going to be where the opening, where they'll have Mount Davis, but that's where the opening is going to be, where you'll see the whole view of the strip from the Delano and Mandalay Bay all the way down past the Stratosphere and into Fremont Street.
The videos of that thing looks amazing. This is going to be great. Well, Joe, man, I appreciate you taking the time to call in, dude. I really do. It's great talking to you. I know you're locked in. Vegas has just got to be amazing right now with what's going on. It's just a booming city, not only just because it's Vegas, but you got now sports teams, legalized gambling. It's just fantastic, dude.
It is. I tell you what, I'm coming down week 1, UNLV versus USC. Bud Knocker, I'm expecting to see you and Josh at the tailgate down there. UNLV,
dude.
USC,
Oh, come by our tailgate.
Yeah, we got Steve here. Yeah, Steve will be down there for. Yeah, we'll come down there.
We cook for 60
obviously
people.
remind me before it gets to that time. But yeah, we'll hook something up, man. If you're down here, we'll do a podcast too. We'll get you in your studio.
Hell yeah, I'm with it. I'll do whatever. I mean, I'll be coming down a little earlier since it is going home for me. And man, and next time, don't wait so long to have me back on. I love talking with you guys. We always have a good time.
Yeah, hell yeah. I know we go on to Twitter sometimes too, brother. I know you exchange the blows on Twitter, so we're good, bro.
Hey, I was about to say, like, when you came out about my Packer fandom, I'm not one of those. Hey. I was waiting for you to bring that shit up too.
Joe, I got your back. I'm a Packer backer too.
I'm not one of those Packer fans that defend every move they make. And I think as a fan base, because the success they've had over the last 20 to 25 years, or since the '92, I go back to the days of Randy Wright, Lynn Dickey, Eddie Lee Ivory, James Lofton, when Forrest Reagan and Bart Starr was the head coach and general manager.
Yeah.
This is the late 70s, early 80s. So I go back when they were just shitty.
Hey, Joe.
So I take the success that they've had really well. But I'm very critical of moves they make, and I agree with you that I don't think Ted Thompson gave Aaron Rodgers enough weapons around him. But at the same time, I look at him finding receivers in the second round. I don't think there's a better GM that found receivers in the second round. He didn't utilize free agency, and that was my biggest gripe with Ted Thompson the whole time in his tenure after he signed Woodson and really as general manager. At the same time, that to me just shows the greatness of Aaron Rodgers, him being able to elevate and sometimes subpar players like a Jeff Janis to levels where they're having success in the playoffs. But I agree with you. But the Packer fans, they are sensitive.
Joe, next time you're in town and there's a Packer game, I will take you to my buddy AJ's for a Packer game right here about a mile away from where we're sitting right now, and we'll get you some beer and brats and show you what a real Packer.
Let's do it.
All right,
let's do it.
Well, Joe, we'll talk to you real soon, brother. Good talking to you, man. Follow at Joe Arrigo on Twitter, man. Thank you for coming on the show. All right, guys, when we get back, we're gonna take a quick, probably 10-minute. We're gonna get some food real quick. You guys can hear some music from the Midnight on the break right now. We'll have shots coming up when we get back on the show. Bio video, talk some NBA playoffs as well. It's a bunch of stuff coming up in the last hour of the show. Stick with us. Enjoy the music on the break, and we'll be back after this.